you.
Hey.
Adam is a longtime member of the SPSM community, and he started an excellent suicide prevention podcast with guest experts.
And he is a member of the secret brotherhood of the poop emoji.
The podcast just seemed like an idea that was able to reach people free, sort of in a format that they might be able to actually, use on their drive to work or, walking the dog or whatever it is.
Once you're in, you can't get out.
We are all sort of trying to be on the front edge of what we can do with suicide prevention and social media.
So you take your research, you think like, well, how can we make sure and disseminate this information?
There's a lot of barriers with research and people actually getting a chance to digest the information.
When we talk about cultural competence, we've been so focused on certain aspects of cultural competence and completely avoided other aspects of cultural competence.
I really think that a lot of this information can be really beneficial for crisis centers, for the people actually on the phones talking to people currently in crisis.
Reaching our audience, this is a way that we can do it in a sort of innovative way.
That being familiar with firearms is actually helpful in talking to people about firearms. What a shocker, right?
This social media aspect allows us to really measure our impact, and there's actually metrics that we can look at.
You find out what people are hungry for very quickly.
So we try not to just give you sort of the podcast in a vacuum. We're going to link to the article that we did it on, or we're going to link to a news story about it. We're going to try to take you to some resources related to the podcast.
I think we're going to controversial it up just to
turn the dial
just the right amount. Why doesn't Waffles have a Twitter account or an Instagram account?
We've been saying we got to get that.
This is a podcast friendly environment we have here.
People love looking at animals. We had over 30,000 views on that video on the first day on Facebook.
So let's talk about firearms.
But we have some great ideas about how we can talk about firearm safety with our patients.
I take my gun ownership seriously, and I take the safe storage of my guns very seriously, like any gun owner that I know does.
So many in the gun community are very, very, very pro-safety. That is number one.
Yeah, it's so important to get different people's perspective, especially gun owners on this issue.
It's not just that we've talked about means restriction, it's how we talk about means restriction that makes the difference.
Somebody takes your keys when you're drunk. Somebody can hold on to your firearm while you're going through a rough patch real quick.
Social media is a community effort, so if we want to reach folks with suicide prevention messaging, let's all use our networks.